Welcome to A Christmas Carol Theory. Now, we've all seen A Christmas Carol. Probably not this version of A Christmas Carol, but a version of Christmas Carol. Now, we must begin with Scrooge, the main character. He hates everyone, everything, holidays. He does not like people because most of the time he just thinks people are just trying to get a buck out of him. He doesn't really want that. So he hobbles off away to his home a normal day with a couple of ghostly scares, but he just completely ignores them until his friend walks through the room chained up, and he's asked, "Why are you all chained up? What happened to you? You were a good man." And his friend is like, "No, I was like you, mean and cold and didn't care for the world. This is the chain of life that I made while I was alive, and I was hoping that my three friends would somehow delete your chains if you pass the test." Now Scrooge goes to sleep, and he really doesn't think about this. What if I told you right then and there, he's slowly having a heart attack. And this is where Ghost of Christmas Present comes up and shows him all the happier memories that he had when he was a boy, when he was young, when he knew how to be alive. Unfortunately, Scrooge is not having this because the present is bringing up, past is bringing up a lot of sad memories for him that he does not want to go through it anymore, so he puts on the cap and he flies home. This is where present comes in and gives him a little kick of what's gonna happen on Christmas Day. Everyone having fun, practically without him. The joyful things of what it's like to have a family and people who care for him. That not everyone in this world is cold-hearted, that he believes. And this is where Scrooge learns about Timmy, his co-worker's crippled son. And you know what's weird? The president knows what's gonna happen to Timmy. He knows one of the two things that happen. He either dies or he's alive, but he doesn't know exactly which one. It's completely up to Scrooge, but he definitely knows what's gonna happen. So I think it's gonna happen quite soon after Christmas. And this is where Scrooge gets feelings. And this is at the very end, the most strangest thing happens. They're in this bell tower, and Scrooge notices that there are two other feet underneath the present thing. And when present shows two deprived children, and present forces him to show him, to make him realize this is what happens when you just leave people out on their own. Don't help them at all. They become this because they have no one else to help them. And then present dies, and the two weird children they don't really attack him. They just do they have cages? Don't they have houses and workers? Or put them in the mines, what Scrooge has been saying to all the other people. And then they die, and this is where he is slowly getting his heart to start. Because he has kind of died, and now this is where present comes in and to fully start his heart. That is why present is completely ruthlessly attacking him, using his magic to turn him small to eventually catch him. Because if Scrooge doesn't run fast enough, because if he just stands there and stay, I believe Scrooge would have died. But this is where Scrooge refuses to die, realizes that he must go back. And so he runs, and unfortunately, when Future does catch up to him, Future definitely isn't gonna put Scrooge back without learning a lesson. So he does show him of all the people he knows, what happens to them in the future after he dies. Everyone loses a job. Some of them most of the majority of them are happy because no one really cares for Scrooge. He did not leave a single print. People steal his clothes, and Scrooge is okay, enough. I need to see some mourn for death somewhere. And he shows him his workers' sadness because his son has died. And this is where Scrooge finally hits his sadness. And this is where also Ghost of Future definitely knows that he's hit the right buttons for Scrooge. This is what's gonna click him to change this little child that he has nothing to do with. Now Scrooge has gotten the message, but he's still wondering who was the dead man that they saw later that day. So Future shows him his gravestone, and Scrooge is completely terrified. This is why he's completely begging Future that he will change. Now Scrooge could lie, But this is where I think the future is doing the ultimate jump scare, because he's like, this is what's gonna happen to you if you do not change. If you're just going and lying to me, you will be dead in the matter of moments of Christmas. Like, you will die on Christmas and no one will care for you. And he does throw him in the coffin, but only to wake him up, which means that his plan will hopefully, their plan, work. And unfortunately, well, luckily, it does. Scrooge is a completely different man. He helps little Timmy get back. He gives everyone raises. He helps the poor and the sick and the hungry. He is becoming a much better man, being resurrected without even him even knowing that he was even dying to begin with.